Hello. Trying this one more time. Sorry, having some problems with my setup. Should have tested this beforehand, but it's been a busy weekend, so just trying to get it working. Okay, that seems to be good. Right. Just gonna let people know it's working again, and I can get into it finally. Right, so great and clean one. I'm going to be basing this. I've got my list coming up, a Battleground Gaming. I'm running 3 great and clean ones and the Maggoth Lord, so it's going to be important to have them all based, which they didn't originally have bases with these ones, or if they did, I never got it. I always used to prefer just, carrying it like this, but getting it on a nice base is always handy. So I've just ripped off some big pieces of cork, and I'm going to be making something for this. That's where I'm starting. Now, I did recently do a video where I talk about the way I do these Nurgle bases, so I'm not going to be just doing the full thing again on stream today, but I just want to get this started off with. Obviously the first thing is getting down the bit of corkboard. I want to build up some nice rocks to be under this guy. Just going to cover the whole thing in super glue. Now, make sure this stays down flat, and yeah, that guy's not quite heavy enough, so it's going to require a little bit of pressure for just a few seconds. Luckily it's not like slow acting or anything, it'll be dry any second. Right, that's the first one. I don't want him too high up, but at the same time he's a little bit shorter than some of the newer plastic kits. I'm just going to build up just a little something to just make him stand out a tad. You need to watch out when using super glue on the chipboard stuff. it can really like absorb it quickly. And make sure you don't spend too long on it, just jump straight on to gluing it on as soon as there's enough on there. I'm just kind of roughly building up this second layer because you won't be able to see most of it. Great and clean ones can be sat on top nicely.
What's that one gaming?
It seems like people have actually found this again. I'm a little worried that yeah, I had to start a whole other stream because I wasn't sure how to just kind of like refresh that one once I'd had to end the call thing. It's really weird, it's still not showing my microphone is working, but it seems to be recording. There's every chance people could hear every word I was saying before, but it just looked like it wasn't recording, and I haven't seen anyone in chat yet. I assume Luke and Tammy will probably want to stop by at some point if they can, but we'll see how it goes. So I hope everyone's been good, had a good weekend. It's Monday, back to work for everyone. I certainly sympathise with that. There we go, that's starting to build up some kind of shape now. I just want to fill in a load of those gaps. I don't think I'm going to go any higher with it. Two's probably good solid foundation. I just want to kind of fill in some of these gaps a little bit more, and then I can move to the next stage. Is that my I don't know if you can hear my washing machine coming through. So yeah, just building this up a bit. I really need to fill that centre part. Oh, it fits nicely, so I might as well do. It's going to be completely hidden anyway. Yeah, that's more or less going to serve the purpose I want it for. Great and clean one fits nicely onto it. Let's just a couple more little bits here. I don't want to go too crazy with just various bits of cork everywhere, but it's looking about good there. Yeah, something like that. That will be good. Just trying to create some like banks, I guess. Kind of delineate where the edges, the pools of slime are going to be on these. But yes, that is about good. So my plan is I'm just going to texture these now, or this base now, sorry, and then I can spray paint this later and paint it up at a separate time, but then I'll jump some more on the Maggoth Lord As you can see, it's almost looking done now. I'm getting to some final little touches. I want to re-go over some of the green because I haven't blended it all. I've got to finish up all of these pustules, but mostly today I'm going to work on the Nurgling guy, some of the little heads and things. That's my plan anyway. Sit down and look at those. I can just that you can have a proper look at it. And I've finished Blobe here. This is going to be all done for the actual, you know, Blobe part of it. But yeah, just going to finish off the main body of the Maggoth, glue it to the thing. I haven't got too much else to do. I guess it's mostly like fixing up this skin, blue patches, boils. Oh god, put Blobe away. Bring it back later. Yeah, and then just some of these bits here, and then finally at the very end there's a couple of metallics, so I'm just going to give it all a good matte coat and then put my metallics on last. Right, but for now, yeah, let's start texturing this. So zoom back in. I'm running out of scruffy brushes that actually have bristles on them. All my really scruffy ones seem to be deteriorating fast. Just going to slightly water down some PVA. Did actually get some more Mod Podge now, but I love the Mod Podge matte, like if you've got to use it on something you've already painted and you don't want super glossy like PVA glue thing look on it, but since I haven't painted it at the minute, I might as well just use this cheap PVA instead of the expensive stuff. I get this nicely covered. Work out, oh, I got a bit distracted there because I am supposed to be leaving some gaps on it to make some nice pools of ooze. Don't know if anyone saw my video the other day. Yeah, it's not particularly hugely in-depth basing scheme, but it's one I've just kind of developed and tweaked a bit over the years, and I'm really kind of happy with how it looks currently with like all this bamboo and stuff that I'm putting on. But yeah, if you want to see about that, you'll have to watch the video because I won't be getting to do any of the bamboo stuff today. Might not have made up enough for this glue mix. That's okay. No one in the chat yet. I'm hoping everyone's good. It says people are watching, so I hope you're enjoying watching me do this. Just do a little bit more mix up. Lovely, lovely PVA. Right, I'll leave another pool there. Pull there. Oh. Okay, that's looking good. I get a nice thick coat on there because I really want this texture stuff to kind of help blend out the you know, the rough edges of this cork that it's on. It's kind of important with this cork to at least make some kind of effort to disguise that it's cork, because otherwise, yeah, you see a lot of people that don't make any effort at all, and it looks alright, but if you can tell it's cork, it's not the same. I'm just going to absolutely drown this in texture, I think, because I can always pick up the tea towel and kitchen towel, sorry, and just shake it all out. I might need a touch more glue on some of these bits. Okay, so that's a nice good covering. Give it a shake and see what sticks. Hopefully, yeah, we've got a few nice clear patches where we want to put in the ooze later. Gotta love that ooze. That's not bad. I thought I'd need a second pass anyway, but that's alright. I've only got a few gaps that I want to cover up. It's like these bits here that have hit it. I think it kind of pulled back before I had a chance to dip it. Fill that and that and that. And just like a little bit along here maybe. Yeah, these edges there looking a bit bald. That one and that one. And just cover the bloody thing. Just wipe clean the edges. There's going to be quite a lot of stuff coming off that still, but I'm just going to put that to the side for now, and I'll let that dry and see how it looks after that. In the meantime, let's get up all this. This can go straight back in the pot to use it again some other time. Right, with that done, oh, my hands are quite sandy. I've got sandy hands. There's some weird noises coming from the other room. I wonder if that's my washing machine. 2 seconds. Okay, it all seems to be alright, but I don't know what that noise was, so I can be listening out for that again. Oh dear. One thing after another today, I swear. Okay, so we've got this fellow here, and I've been working on this for ages. It was kind of like a quick project to take a break from my other large project that I was doing, and ended up being another big project. So I've got to actually take a small project after this, I swear. You can see, like, I'm pretty happy with it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I think last week I was finishing up, I think I did some of this cloth, I did the horns, just some general bits of tidying up around. And yeah, today I'm going to do these straps and then these heads, I think. That's my plan of action. So the straps were literally just basilisk red, bright shadow flesh. That's it. So I did shade them down a little and kind of black line around them and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the majority of what I'm going to do. I'll see if I can do them without my magnifying glasses, but if it's looking like I need to get up close with them, then I'll switch over and you'll just have to look at me with the giant owl specs on. A little bit more, just mixing up a nice halfway tone here. I'm just going to start on all these little kind of red toned, leathery bits of, I don't know, I guess thread. I'm never sure what material like people would actually tie all the heads to the back of a pole like this. Would they just be using like string, like sisal stuff, or do they have like certain kinds of leather for it? Not entirely sure. Maybe they use yarn. I have a lot of crochet friends. Maybe I'll ask any of them if they get a sideline in like crocheting heads to banner poles or stuff like that. So that sounds like some good commission work. Like if you can get that, yeah, you're sorted. I like to say these armies, they all have like a crocheter on staff. That way if they kill anyone with like an impressive head or that they want to save, they can just be like, oh yeah, I got this one in the battle, could you just attach that for me? Oh, thank you. And then they'd like, the crocheter would come along and they'd just like, I don't know, use knitting skills to attach all this stuff to the banners. You can't expect like champions to have chance to do it themselves. I'm sure they're hiring someone to do all this work. It's not really that much of like a champion thing. Sitting there painstakingly attaching severed heads to to the banner poles. You got to get someone in for that stuff. Ay, 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 ay. It was, yeah, quite a busy weekend, so I'm still not exactly fully recovered from it, but yeah, we saw off Posey Parker in Nottingham city centre the other day. It was satisfying watching tiny crowd of turf show up, get chased across the town. And then, yeah, like a pretty good crowd of us left at the end. We just ended up having our own like speakers and stuff. Everyone did a fantastic job, which was nice to see. I was really hoping I could get my Nurgle army finished by the end of January, and that's been a gone, and I'm still on this one model. It's relatively like few models once I've actually done this. I'm just yeah, I'm just dying for them to be done, and then I want to get onto my Stormcast. I've got fairly much all the pieces to put an army together now. There's just some little things that I'm probably going to need, like the porta potty and stuff like that. The scenery piece, whatever it's called. Storm's Reach Portal. Interested if I got that right. It's certainly, there's got to be Storm in there somewhere, right? All the Stormcast names are like that. You can see these last couple of coats, I've just been kind of like dotting on random highlights, just kind of building it up on places I want to build it up. Yeah, those looking alright, aren't they? So, I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work out these boils on the Nurgling here. I've already showed the scheme I'm doing for these boils on and a couple of weeks ago on a stream, so yeah, I think obviously I'll be talking about what I'm doing, but yeah, I've also covered it already, so I won't focus on it too long. Yeah, again, like it's I just use that Basilisk Red as to base all the boils, and then Avalanche Sunset on top of that, just to kind of pick them out here. And this is going to be like the main colour, these nasty yellowy boils. Some of them, this is fairly much going to be all they get, to be honest, but depends on the size really. Some of these small ones are barely going to get anything, while like the larger ones, yeah, I'll probably try and get the whole kind of spectrum of colours that I'm using in there. I don't know why, I was struggling with this Nurgling the other day, so see what happens with it now. I ended up repainting the base of its skin. Oh, sorry, I don't know why my voice is going. Grab a drink there. Yeah, I was having some little problems with this, so I ended up restarting the whole thing, and it seems to be going alright. I don't know why. I do love Nurglings, but I don't know, this one, it's probably not the most inspiring of the ones on the kit. In fact, I'm sure it wasn't the only one I glued onto the kit, but it's the only one I see on there now, so God knows what I did with them. Could have sworn there was more. Wasn't there one? Yeah, there was one that was hanging off the horn, I swear. Maybe that fell off before I started painting. Oh my god. I'd completely forgotten about that till I just thought, like, yeah, there was one. I swear that wasn't the only one I put on there. I swear there was one on the front. Maybe I decided against it and then just completely forgot about that. Maybe it got wiped off at some point. I'll have to have a look. I'm just going to reinforce this Avalon sunset just a little bit. Next thing, I'm going to go for some of the dark jade. I'm going to start highlighting underneath. Underlighting, I guess, underneath the boils. This is the same as what I've done on here. It's just literally usually the bottom right side, like the opposite side to which I've highlighted up the most. And the reason I'm doing this is just like it's a hint of like an opposite colour that will kind of make the whole thing stand out a bit more. And it's kind of representing the, because the boils themselves are kind of glossy and reflective, so they'll be reflecting a bit of the green of this thing's skin, but mostly it's just a bit of colour interest rather than going too deep into like a narrative reason for it being there. Not sure if I even mean a narrative reason. I'm sure there's like a better word for that then, when you're trying to build up the kind of realism of the world. You don't need to go like a million times super realistic to suggest things and make them look slightly better. Right, so some of that. Now my olive flesh, I know this is running out, so I'm going to grab. No. I'm out of olive flesh, so I think I've got dark ivory. Dark ivory is fairly much the same colour. There's like tiny little difference there. I've used these fairly much interchangeably. Like I'll only generally use one on a piece unless like this happens. Oh, and it just exploded out the bottle, lovely. Oh well, there we go, eh? Right, well I'm going to mix those two together anyway. So here's a slightly brighter yellow. That's nice there. This is going to start highlighting them up. Some of the smaller ones I'm just trying to catch a little tiny bit, but yep, there we go. And this is, yeah, just like a basic light reflection. And because they are, like I was saying, they are quite glossy, then yeah, I'm going to do a couple of levels of this just to define them properly. The next one I'm just going straight to this dark ivory it was. Get them in the very top corner. Still nothing in the chat. I might have scared people away, people have gone because I had to reset the stream at the start and lost the address that I actually posted to stuff. I hope people are enjoying the stream anyway. Yeah, it's just a bit chilled. Had a bit of problem getting going, and yeah, I've had a busy weekend, so I'm not exactly the most lively person in the world right now, but I really need to get this painting finished. Obviously, tournament in Birmingham, Battleground Games at the weekend. I'm really looking forward to going. I've got my 3 Great Unclean Ones list, so 3 Great Unclean Ones and a Maggoth Lord, so yeah, the Maggoth Lord is the only part of it that isn't done, as well as obviously the Great Unclean One needs a base that I had out earlier on the stream. Here he is. Hey. Not totally sure how I feel about that, but anyway, I'm going to get my glasses on because we're getting to some small details here. They're only very little and my eyes cannot see them. Let's get some of this blue-white out and paint some nurgling eyes and mess them up instantly. Typical. Typical. There we go, just fix those. Oh, one I haven't done, I'm just going to get a little bit of that green in there. That's better, a bit more control on those ones. Now, I'm going to get some Scrag Brown in because I'm also going to do the horns on the Nurgling in similar colours that I've done the rest of the horns on the model. I could do it with completely different ones. It might make it stand out a bit more, but I don't know. I think there's no need to mix it up on these. There's already so many details to do on these models anyway that repeating the same colour scheme on similar surfaces is not going to be hugely noticeable even. Right, so one thing I'm going to do with these horns is I'm doing them the opposite way to the horns on the bigger thing. With those ones get darker as they go out, so these ones are going to get lighter as they go out. Just a random change, not too big or earth-shattering. And try and get these little teeth in here now. These are always make you have to squint at them. Little nurgling teeth. The teeth can be worse than the eyes for me. The eyes, at least, like, you know, there's one point you have to hit in the middle. The teeth, yeah, you've got to get loads, and they get ruined really quickly if you get any it's like falling into the recesses. Add a couple of little dots on those horns just to suggest a bit extra detail. Just give the impression that something that's really quite tiny has actually got a texture on it, when it's way too small for me to actually paint a texture. There's probably people who paint textures on smaller surfaces, but yes, I think for me it's quite enough to suggest it's there. Unless I'm doing like a golden demon entry or something like that. Yeah, again, just some little dots suggesting that even though these are tiny, there's some kind of texture on them. Ooh. Okay, that's quite a cute little nurgling actually. I think I like that how it is. So next up then, I guess next up I'm going to look at these. I always I would say struggle a bit with the various heads and stuff, and it is because not because I don't like painting skin, I do, but it's because it's always better with these if you paint them in different colours, and it annoys me to have like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 different variations of skin tone on one thing, because the skin tone, like, I really enjoy like putting multiple colours in a skin tone. So when I have to kind of then repeat that thing over several different skin tones in one piece, it's kind of annoying. And these are just like, yeah, they're all dead, so they're all quite flat skin tones, but yeah, they really look better if you make them multicoloured. So let's pick out a few to be green first. So green, there's 3, so let's make the bottom one on there green and the top one on the other side green. We'll focus on getting these done first. I've just taken some, it's the dark jade I've been using, mixed with a little dark yellow green, both Pro Acryl ones. Done that, and then this middle one here is going to be purple. I think the last 2 should be blue. So that was Royal Purple Vallejo one I was using, and I'm going to go on the Vallejo turquoise for the base for the other one. It's very saturated, this colour, but I'm going to desaturate it with the choices on top of it. Typical. Got too cocky with the water, and the blue started leaking all over the rest of it, so just kind of flood out that bit before the paint has a chance to stick. That's the best way of kind of undoing mistakes quickly. Just flood that part of the model and pray. If you're quick enough, you should be able to stop it from adhering. Right, so let's start with this green one then. So I made a mix. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go from the darkest green mix that I just made, which was the dark yellow green and the dark jade. I'm going to go up to red grey, and that's going to be the main skin tone, so kind of the Cadian flesh tone equivalent. And this one's actually quite kind of, well, it's red grey. It's very kind of desaturated and lifeless for skin tone. And then think I'm going to go up to, so I've gone from the green to the red. To then get to the highlights, I'm going to go to, oh, I've lost it. I've lost the paint. It's here somewhere. I saw it just a second ago, but I'm apparently blind to it now. It's my lightest green colour. It's my here I've moved it. The faded green. So yeah, so dark jade and dark yellow green mix up to red grey for the mid-tone skin, and then faded green for the highlights. So that should give us, it's like this nice little kind of green red green journey. Some very dead looking flesh tones. This wouldn't work for anything that's living, but fingers crossed it works nicely for this rotten severed head. Right then, so specs on, looking close. These are tiny little things. First level of highlight. Being quite generous with this. I hope this is properly showing up on the screen. Get the one behind it. Then do the back of both of them. Forgot to base coat some of the back of that one. Never mind. Just going to go over it. Then there. Yep. Oh, I got a like. Fancy that. So yeah, I'm going to the red grey, and I was a bit too impatient there. I didn't quite get the paint to the right consistency on my brush the first go, so I just slowed it down and made sure it was right before putting it on. So yeah, this is like the kind of mid-tone of the skin. I see it works pretty well for like this kind of dead, decaying, severed head thing that's going on. Do the same thing over here. Yeah, it's not going to look particularly alive, and that's exactly what we are aiming for. Just some nasty death's heads that presumably it's saving there because they look nice. They add a nice nurgly aroma to the whole thing. Now I'm going to mix in some of that faded green. I can start highlighting up. I'm watching the looking at the stream in the widget in the corner of the screen, and it's showing quite a while back. I thought it would be more recent than that. I hope there's not too much of a delay going on just due to my connection issues. Yeah, one more highlight with these, and that's going to be first pass done. I'm going to have to do some more stuff with these because it's obvious that just painting the skin like this isn't quite enough, so I might have to pick out the threads that have been sewing shut the eyes and mouths on these death's head things. I have to paint those in like a different colour or something, because you can just see after working on this that yeah, they're just going to need a couple of extra touches just to make them look fully rendered. I can't just get away with one kind of colour scheme on each of them, which would be handy because, like I said, obviously they're a little bit annoying to paint them all, but at least like I can go through and do the same colour, like teeth and thread holding their mouths shut on all of them. It'll look fine as the same thing. Right, so I'm going to try something very similar on the purple one. I'm just going to go from the purple to the red grey to the faded green, so it's basically the same thing, only just different base tone. Quite difficult. This is one of the things I said, like, this model is really designed to be built in sub-assemblies, but I was just desperate to get it on the board before I rather like painted in sub-assemblies, I mean, not build. Yeah, he's coming along. Oh, there's a lot of maggots coming out the mouth of this one, I see. God, I love that Nurgle. It's always something with that guy. I'll just do these purple ones, then the blue ones next. And then we'll see. So far an hour's like the longest I've streamed. Not having as many health problems this week, so might go longer, but I'll see how I'm doing in a minute. It's been about an hour, considering I spent at least 10 to 15 minutes fiddling with getting the stream working again. One of these times I'm not going to be a boomer about it and it's just going to work, and you're all going to be so impressed at me. You're going to be like, wow, Amy's not a boomer at all. She's totally on top of technology that's like a decade old at this point. Purple ones. Right, let's look at this blue. I get a particular kind of thing for this blue, and I'm not sure if it's gonna. I'm just testing a few paints together, but yeah, okay. Right, so using the same base colours, but I'll see what it turns out like, 'cause it might require some modification by the time I get to the highlight one on these. I don't want a green highlight, I want a blue highlight. I want a very kind of like drowned looking face for these ones. So yeah, I'm going to go for that pure red grey, yeah. And then after this, I need to find a new colour to highlight instead of that faded green. That is going to give different hue to it. It's a bit weird on these upside down ones, you don't often have to paint faces upside down. It's not something you think about much, but yeah, the highlights are going on in a different kind of orientation. So yeah, I think I'm going to take this bright sapphire, and this is going to be my highlight colour on the skin here. Oh god. All my paint pots are jamming. I don't want another one exploding on me. So red grey into sapphire. Some touches on the other one. Got him here. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be doing some other little touches to these. I think I'm going to be next jumping to get some black out and do some black lining and re-establish all those bits. like all the threads and the little like nurgling watchers, maggots. Where's my black? Tell you what, I cannot find Vallejo model colour black at the minute in Element Games. Every time I've gone it's been sold out. Should just order some at this point, but I keep on coming back with other blacks and I don't know. I just really like Vallejo model colour black. I don't know why. Combination of the Vallejo bottle type, which is always, you know what you're getting with them. And yeah, it's just a reasonable black. I'm sure there's probably better blacks in the world for different tasks, but as an all-rounder it's just really nice. Oh. Yeah, this is going to be just kind of demarcating the edges of the skulls. The ropes, just kind of picking out some of the darkest details. Going around like the maggots, inside the ears, inside the eyes, inside these little dots. That's just going to start adding a lot of definition. It's going to all come together when I add the next set of highlights and all those other details. God, this one that's on the inside has got like 3 maggots coming outside of his eyes, and it's a cool design, but those maggots are just like in possibly the worst place to paint on the entire model. Obviously again, this is a place I should have gone for sub-assemblies, but they really don't want you painting them afterwards. Very much hoping this will all be quite easy to do though, having said that. They're only maggots, so it doesn't matter if you get every single bit of detail perfect. You can just aim for some rough lines over them, and 9 times out of 10 that's enough. One. That. Those. Okay. Right, so ropes. I'm going to go to, oh no, I'm not going to go to red grey, because thinking about it, that's exactly what everything's already got on it. I'm going to go to scrag brown. I've got that on my palette at the minute, and that's a good mid-tone, so I'm just going to go over all the little threads and the maggots. Obviously the threads that are actually tying them to the post I've done in that red colour, but I'm going to do these ones in slightly different tones. Presumably someone quite different sealed all the mouths and eyes to the person who embroidered them onto the banner pole. And that's the justification I'm going with anyway. Maggots, maggots, maggots. There's always maggots with Nurgle. I do love to put maggots on absolutely everything. Okay, so that's the first one. And you know what, they're all quite small. I'm just going to jump straight to that dark ivory. I'm going to be very kind of sparing with this over the top of them. Once I find the right, oh yeah, fiddle with the magnifying specs for a second. So I'm going to do some close details. I hope this comes across all right. Just pick out all these last little bits here. Okay. Right. Well, one thing left to do on these. I'm just going to take some Sigvold Burgundy, load my brush up and just paint in some of the neck holes, just to get a nice little splash of gory colour on there. Right, okay. You can see that's most of the top of this guy looking almost there. I've still got to, I've got to replicate fairly much what that bit is onto all of that, to all of that and all of that. And I've got till the weekend to do it, and I've got some other stuff on in the meantime, but you know, hopefully I have a chance to sit down for just like even a few more hours should be enough to finish this up. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not going to finish it up on stream. But I think I am going to wrap up there. It's been about an hour and a half, so longest stream yet, yay. Yeah, let's put Blue back in his seat. As you can see, yeah, it's almost done now. Here's the base. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be in my army at the weekend, so just got a few days in which I can just paint up the rest of this guy, and that's just finishing this kind of green, like fixing it up, painting in all the little zits and stuff, the like venom sac on the chin, and yeah, I think that's about it. We're getting through it pretty quickly. I say pretty quickly, it's been weeks, but it's been weeks in which I haven't necessarily had as much painting time as I'd like. Oh, hello, I see we've got a Sir Mime in the chat. Or had, I'm not sure how long that message was ago, but I didn't see it, so presumably just now. Yeah, I'm just wrapping up, and as you can see, I've still got more to do on this, but I'm hoping I can get it done in the next couple of days off camera. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week. It's been fun getting on stream again. I really need to, I guess just practice makes perfect, because like every time I have a different problem, and like I guess if I just keep on going, eventually I'll work out all the problems and how to stop them. Yeah, I did, like I accidentally wasn't sure if the audio was working properly, and I had to close the stream, and then I couldn't reopen it in the same stream, so I opened a different session of it, and I'm such a boomer. Yeah, like I used to be so good with technology, and once you get 40 it's just like I don't want to bother anymore. So if someone make it work for me, that'd be ideal. Yeah, someone do it for me. Right, well, that's our guy finished then. Thanks very much for joining, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.